Hi, my name is Parma. You can call me Festa Faster, and these are my drama notes. I've wanted to make a video in defense of Kang Seo-hae for weeks now, but I also wanted to wait till the drama ended because I didn't want to come here and claim that Kang Seo-hae was actually a really great character and then have the drama pull the rug out from under me. But thankfully, the drama has left my Seo-hae mostly intact, and now I can talk about it. I can talk about why I think she's actually a pretty great character, how the show messes up female characterization in general, and where I think they failed Kang Seo-hae, even though I imagine that the creators of the show really like this character. In the first few weeks of the run of this drama, Park Shin-hye garnered a lot of annoyance from the audience because of how flat and passive Kang Seo-hae's character was, despite her amazing martial arts skills and how grand her mission was of saving the world from a nuclear war. The problem was that we knew nothing about her, except that she had come back in time to protect Hantesul, she liked bananas, and could knock out 20 men twice her size, despite having a physique that could only be described as lacking in musculature. And this skepticism is made worse because the drama's own all-purpose doctor, Sojin, says that she's undernourished. So how was she beating up these men? What kind of training had she undergone in the future? We knew nothing, except that saving the world apparently required her to protect Hantesul, who was this genius, charming rogue, and apparently the brains in this partnership. Now, the show soon reveals that Hantesul creates a device in the future that pretty much leads to apocalypse. So at this point, a question might pop up in your head. Why isn't Seo-hae just killing Taesul? She had to presumably kill a lot of people in the future to survive, and they were victims of circumstance. So what's stopping her with Taesul? We do get an answer to this, a tad too late, and that's the problem because it makes her seem stupid when she's really not. Now, the first 3 weeks of watching Kang Seo-hae follow Hantesul around and keep saving him from his own stupid plans was almost enough to make me stop watching this drama. I wanted to see Park Shin-hye play a badass woman, but I hadn't signed up for another Alhambra-styled helpmate character, where Park Shin-hye's character gets zero development, but she propels emotional development in the hero. However, I kept watching, and I'm really glad that I did. For those first 3 weeks, the drama lavished all its attention on Hantesul, developing and establishing who he is and how his brilliance and charisma affected the world around him. As a side note, Cho Sung-woo is a gift to the world. But by the end of the second week, things start to shift, as episode 4 opens 18 years into the future, where Seo-hae is alone in the heart of a deserted city with miles of nuclear devastation around her. It's almost beautiful, with wild plants having overtaken buildings and roads, broken skyscrapers acting as hills, and the vision of Kang Seo-hae with her pink rifle and backpack looking around at miles of emptiness, but always wary of an attack. We watch her scavenge for food in empty convenience stores, get really excited over finding an intact poster in a shop, listen to Spring Day by BTS on her phone that doesn't make calls anymore, and treating corpses like furniture, like they're just part of the regular scenery. And then this episode introduces Kang Seo-hae's father, Kang Dong-gi, and we see the kind of team they make. Over the next 2 weeks, the drama spends a lot of time showing us the relationship between these two, and this is a father-daughter duo whose adventures I can watch an entire series on. See, Kang Seo-hae lost her entire world at the age of 9, including her mother, and then spent the next 9 years of her life inside the bunker with her father because it wasn't safe for them to come outside. The air wasn't breathable. Smartly anticipating the kind of world they would likely enter, Kang Dong-gi taught his very young daughter how to shoot and fight, so that when they did emerge from the bunker, the two of them were a team that was completely in sync as they fought other scavengers for survival. I mean, imagine that. They had this really safe place, this bunker, all to themselves. If they weren't amazingly good at protecting themselves, another group would probably have snatched it away from them. Anyway, that was Seo-hae's life for 8 years, until she found a corpse with a diary that put her on the path to going back to the past and stopping the war. There is something amazing that happened once Sisyphus pivoted to telling the story from Seo-hae's perspective. The flatness of the narrative went away. It also became very clear that while Hantesul was fun to watch, it was mostly because of the way Cho Sung-woo was playing him. The character himself couldn't drive the story forward. No, that was all Kang Seo-hae. She was the one who knew that previous versions of her had gone back to the past again and again trying to stop the war. And each time she left herself a diary where she noted down exactly what happened. So this Kang Seo-hae went back not only knowing that she would most likely die, but that if she did succeed, her entire existence would be wiped out. She would just cease to be. Having seen her life in the post-apocalyptic world, I could finally see her motivation. And thankfully, after the 4th week, she stopped quietly going along with Taesol's plans, which were mostly focused on finding out more about what happened to his brother. That was irrelevant to her mission. And she had only been doing it because it was important to Taesol. Because, of course, she knew from the diary that Taesol was somebody she had fallen in love with before. And it answers the question, why didn't Seo-hae just come back to the past and kill Taesol to stop the war? Because the diary had made sure that she knew Taesol before they had even met. She became curious about him. And so when she came back to the past, she was already invested in finding another way of stopping Taesol from creating the uploader. Seriously, once the drama puts the reins of the story in Kang Seo-hae's hands, she is impressive. She's smart, quick-witted, capable of thinking several steps ahead, and she's an incredible fighter. You realize then that Kang Seo-hae is actually the main character of this drama. That Han Taesol is actually the helpmate character. Like, even when Kang Seo-hae falls into this time traveler's coma and Han Taesol goes into her dreams to try and save her, she has to be the one to turn around and do the guiding because Taesol starts getting lost in his own traumas. As a character, this girl is a million times stronger than Han Taesol. She's very clear-sighted, and while Taesol tries to avoid thinking about where it's all headed, she knows exactly where they're going. So it's incredibly frustrating when in the final act of the drama, Han Taesol suddenly comes to the foreground again, and it's done in an utterly infuriating way. At one point, Han Taesol actually locks up Kang Seo-hae in a perfectly comfortable space to keep her safe. And later, when he's executing his grand plan to defeat Sigma, he refuses to tell Seo-hae any of the details. And when Seo-hae asks him why, he says it's because Kang Seo-hae is not good at lying. Like she's a child. This is the same woman who's been dealing with a bunch of baddies from the beginning of the show and has never revealed information she didn't think people needed to know, even through torture. And his reasoning is that she's not good at lying? No, the real reason is that if Seo-hae knew the plan and was part of it, then Han Taesol wouldn't get to play the brilliant hero in the final act. And the drama creators really wanted Taesol to have the majority of that final glory. Now look, if this video was about Han Taesol, this is the point where I would be complaining about how uneven his character development was. We explored a lot of his motives and the way his mind worked in the first half of the drama, but after that, he kind of stagnated and never really became more. So this final stretch of wanting to be the lone wolf savior was a bit out of the blue and didn't make sense given how Taesol had always treated Seo-hae as an equal and a partner. Unlike other dramas where a man and a woman pair up, there was no gradual progression of respect towards the capabilities of a woman. Taesol never had to battle inner chivalry or chauvinism to trust in Seo-hae's utter competence. In their first meeting, she'd saved him from a bullet, and then she just kept saving him again and again. And Taesol was happy to acknowledge her strengths and hide behind her. I loved how practical and unself-conscious he was. So this choice of suddenly becoming overly protective and pushing her out of the spotlight just didn't work with the dynamic they had set up between our main pair. And that brings us to my main issue with how the creators of Sisyphus portray women. First, there is a startling lack of female characters in the drama. This isn't apparent initially because Seo-hae's presence is so large, but if you think about it, there were no women in the ground forces of the Control Bureau, and there were no women sighted amongst the policemen or the guards. Female characters in this drama fall roughly into three categories. They are mothers, daughters, and vamps. If you don't know what a vamp is, they are dangerous, seductive women, usually sent to lead virtuous men astray. Of course, there is a more biblical word I can use for this archetype, but I don't wanna. To give you examples, Bingbing, the employee of Asia Mart, is a daughter character. Jung Kyung-ki and Seo-hae's mothers are, well, mother characters. And Sojin, our very versatile doctor, is a vamp. Yes, Seo-hae is an excellent, well-written character, but she's also the only woman with a nuanced, multifaceted narrative. There are 3 to 4 other women with names and speaking parts in this drama, but all of their storylines are restricted within their archetype. The vamp betrays, the mother sacrifices, and the daughter is filial. And the thing is, I can't recall any of these women speaking to each other. For that matter, I'm not even sure if Sisyphus passes the Bechdel test. See, the test requires that 2 named female characters have at least one conversation that is not about a man. And I guess there is this one exchange between grown-up Kang Seo-hae and her mother who doesn't recognize her. Her mom drops something and Kang Seo-hae picks it up for her. They have like a very brief exchange. I'm not sure if that counts as a conversation. There is also this other exchange in the future where Kang Seo-hae breaks into a hospital to steal antibiotics, and a medical staff personnel tells her what the doses should be. I think she's wearing a name tag, so she might count as a named character. Listen, if I have to reach so much to figure out if this drama passed the Bechdel test, you know that it failed, at least in spirit. There is a very old-fashioned gaze at work with this drama. It's not like the director Jin Hyuk or the writers Jun Chan-ho and Lee Jae-in think that women can't be nuanced or fill diverse roles. One of the build writers, Lee Jae-in, is a woman. It's more that it didn't seem to occur to any of them that they were falling into the trap of portraying women in a very limited way. My theory is that at least part of the reason is because of the genre. Science fiction is still one of those spaces where male characters dominate. It's their stories. Most of the characters around them are men. If there are women, there are maybe 1 or 2 capable ones, and the rest are sheep. So while they poured a lot of love into building and fleshing out Kang Seo-hae, they couldn't ultimately let her be the final hero. It had to be Han Tae-sol, even if it didn't make any sense. The point of this video isn't to call the show creator sexist and drop the mic, but there are definitely internal biases at play here. All I'm trying to do is emphasize how these kind of biases can ruin the logic of a good plot and completely mess up a great ending. And seriously, Han Tae-sol, my boy, my Seo-hae did not need your help to hold up that rifle while she takes the final shot. You attention-starved glory hog, you.